Welcome back to another episode of Decks and Damage. I'm Spazzy McGee, and today we have another episode of Tales in Casting and Chatting, where we fish in New World and have a random assortment of conversations. Like always, if you love what you're watching, please don't forget to use your ulti on that like button and smash the subscribe button like it's prom night. Now sit back, relax, and crack open a beer for episode 2. Let's get to it. So apparently now, once again, this is information from Reddit. So this could be a matter of, you know, literally anything. It could be true, it could not be true. It could just be made for the memes, right? But apparently somebody has recorded that they are now putting locks on steaks at Walmart due to shoplifting crimes, you know, soaring amid inflation.
So wait, like they're locking the cabinet?
It literally, like, no. Like, you know how you have the stakes out in the open, right? Like, they literally are locking up stakes, like, in this, like, fencing, like, with the, you know, the alarm things that they put on, like, electronics and junk like that?
They've got electronic alarms on those?
Yes, they got them on the stakes now.
That's hilarious.
But it's like, why would you put the fencing around? Like, I don't understand that part. Like, why didn't they just tag it? But why put the fencing around it? Like, somebody's not gonna try to sit and cut that steak out of that fencing. Somebody's sneaking it into the bathroom, like, just to put it in Ziploc bags.
I mean, I guess that's one way on one take on a chastity belt. I suppose.
Yeah, I would definitely have to say that is definitely a take on that for sure.
And remember, kids, lock your meat up.
Lock that meat up. You know, you never know what may happen. You know, yeah. I love that I'm not even fishing right now.
Yep.
I saw a meme after that, and it's like, literally, it was the picture of Spider-Man crying, and it literally said, "When you catch a thief trying to find money in your house," and then underneath it said, "I'll help you look."
I'll help you look.
It's like, I'm so poor. All right, so what do you got for me?
The title of this one is Today I effed up by allowing my husband to come to dinner at my boss's house. This person had just gotten a new job, and their boss invited them over for dinner. And their husband's really sweet, but they have a history of doing dumb things. They go to this dinner.
Okay.
And it's a steak dinner for like the three of them. And they get a couple bites into the delicious steak when everything goes wrong. Everything. Okay. Their boss steps out of the kitchen into the kitchen to go check on dessert, and the wife notices something out of the corner of her eye. And before she had the chance to just like say anything, her husband takes his steak and baseball style throws it across the room into the window, and it just hits the window and slowly slides down onto the windowsill. The wife is just straight up dumbfounded, does not understand, and is like, you know what? You made your bed. You're gonna lie in it, and refuses to back him up. So the boss comes back, and she just stares at him with her boss. She's just like, yeah, you gonna explain? Explain it. And he tries some lame excuse for, like, he's just really clumsy, and he makes a poor attempt to clean the window and pick his steak back up, and they ignore him the rest of the dinner. Like, they start talking about work. They don't talk to him, nothing. They get into the car, and her husband tries to, like, very quickly explain what happened, and nervously. His steak was cooked rare, and he thought the window was open. He didn't like the way the steak tasted. So logically, he thought the window was open and thought instead of just choosing not to eat the steak, he would yeet the steak out the window so no one would be
He
any
thought this
wiser.
this is just the logical thing to do. Instead of, oh, hey, you know, like, not to be a bother, but like this steak is a little undercooked. But no, it's time to yeet it straight out the window.
The wife is like, yep, so I still work there, and a year later to the Christmas party, my +1 was not my husband, it was my friend.
Why does that sound like something Sans would do, though?
I would roast him on the spot. I wouldn't be nice and let somebody else just politely ask him. No, they would come back into the room and I would be roasting him. I would be like, what the shit are you doing right now?
All right, let's see. What was my next story here? All right, so it's a little story, just like yours. Men, what do you do if a woman keeps on giving excuses when you ask her to meet up with you? Suppose you ask her 3 to 4 times, and each time she has an excuse but suggests rescheduling. Would you still pursue her? She randomly texts me, has conversations with me, asks for my Snapchat, but then does that. She just never shows up. She texted me herself asking if I wanted to hang out, and I was ecstatic. I wanted to meet her the same day, but she said she was busy and would be free that weekend. I texted her during the weekend. She said, why didn't you plan anything beforehand? This person. Anyways, I agreed to go out with XYZ day. It's not like we haven't met each other before. What? Just not the two of us. Oh, okay. So they've never met on a romantic. And so everybody in this Reddit post is just going off. Of course, you know, they're like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, just give up. just stop."
Yeah, let that one go.
It's painful. So yeah, so what goes along with this is Nat recently got into watching the show Catfish because the guy was on Dancing with the Stars, and we didn't really even know that was a thing. Catfish was a show, etc. So we were like, okay. She's like, okay, I'm finally gonna go sit and watch this. Well, the one episode that we watch, this is good. The one episode that we watch is this girl, and she's best friends with this other girl. And so they're meeting up with the catfish guy, and they're just trying to figure out, you know, am I being catfished? Like, this guy, like, he says he's a famous musician, and like he's touring around, and he just never has time to see me. We're engaged. She goes about this too. We're engaged now. And like, you know, obviously, like, how are we gonna get married if I never meet the person? Blah 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 blah. Well, they come to find out that the guy that's, you know, the picture, they do a picture search and all this other junk. They find out that the guy isn't who she thinks it is. That person doesn't exist. But then, like, he sends her a song. Come to find out, the song matches up with another profile. This profile ends up being this other guy. It ends up being the cousin that is living with her best friend. So they go to their house, and she's like, is so-and-so here? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, well, why? And she's like, well, I want to talk to him because come to find out, this is the guy that I've been talking to. Like, we've had, and she went out at the beginning, like, was saying like she had phone sex and all this other junk with this person. And she's like, you know, like, we've had shared intimate details about each other, blah, 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 blah. And so the best friend, she just kind of sinks her head, like, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe my cousin's been catfishing you all this time. She goes, it's been me.
What?
That's exactly me. Me and Nat's mouths drop, and then you look at the guy, you know, from the guy who's the host for Catfish, and I can just see it in his eyes, like, I'm gonna get an Emmy for this. Like, what?
He's like, holy shit, lesbian love story.
Come to find out, no, it isn't that either, right?
What?
It's not that either. She's just being a concerned best friend. Apparently, she was partying too much. And she was hating that her friend was diving into this certain lifestyle, and she's like, I was just trying to help you. And she's like, well, we've talked on the, like, this person's talked on the phone, like, we've had phone sex, like, what? She's like, that was my cousin. She's like, hey, like, I can just imagine this conversation. Hey, will you go and like have phone sex with my best friend? So that she thinks that, like, she's having this intimate. And she's like, but what? Oh, I got a treasure chest? Ah!
What?
How desperate people are to, like, get into relationships that they'll let themselves, fall into situations like that. You know, it's just like, oh,
And you know, somewhere in that relationship, there were like serious red flags and lies that you could like
and
tell.
they were just like, no, no,
That's
no,
good.
no. I want to just toss that aside. Yeah, no, like that's not. No, this is a real thing. It's actually happening.
I'm gonna read this next one word for word
Oh, okay.
because the guy who writes it just does such a good job. It is titled "Who's the dumbest person you've ever?" Well, so there's a question that's "Who's the dumbest person you've ever met?" And this is in response. It's not uncommon as a teacher to have students who are a bit behind the curve in certain aspects, but 99.9999 whatever percent of them, they're keen on something. They might not understand how to identify a noun or what a theme is, but they know how to make an amazing plate of nachos. You learn pretty quick not to judge a fish for their tree climbing ability. I thought this was the rule when I was teaching until I met Kevin. Kevin was the genetic pinnacle of this null achievement. Even this teacher's instructional lead, a woman who could find any redeeming trait in a Balrog, failed to see any reason this kid or his family should be alive. Here's a list of events that made it abundantly clear that God exists, and he's laughing uncontrollably. These are amazing. Kevin frequently forgot when and where class was. On more than one occasion, this teacher had to retrieve him from other classrooms. Kevin ate an entire 24-pack of crowns, puked, and then did it again the next day. This is 9th grade. Nobody knows where he got crowns from. Kevin tased himself in the neck before a football game. Kevin's grandfather apparently died in a chainsaw accident, and I can only assume God was looking the other way that day. You tased himself in the neck before a football game. Like, why? It's so stupid. I can't even think of somebody I know that's near that stupid.
I can think of a lot. Yeah, no, I think this is a great time to wrap it up there. My brain is smoother now that I've listened to all that. That was great.
Lost brain cells listening to Kevin.
Yeah, no, Kevin's hurt my brain like more than any math ever could.
Frick you, Kevin.
Frick you, Kevin. We hope you enjoyed today's video, and we can't appreciate you guys enough for sticking around for the laughs. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out myself and my co-host, Idril Frostfoot, live on Twitch every week. Links will be provided in the description below. Also, if you have any suggestions for future content, please feel free to let us know in the comments. Later.